Chapter 12 Subconscious Mind. The connecting link, the 11 step toward riches. The subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the five senses is classified and recorded, and from which thoughts may be recalled or withdrawn as later may be taken from a filing cabinet. It receives and fills sense impressions or thoughts regardless of their nature. You may voluntarily plant in your subconscious mind any plan, through or purpose which you desire to translate into its physical or monetary equivalent. The subconscious act first on the dominating desire which have been mixed with emotional feeling, such as faith. Consider this in connection with the instruction given in the chapter on desire for taking the six steps there outlined, and the instructions given in the chapter on the building and execution of plans. And you will understand the importance of the thought conveyed. The subconscious mind work day and night through a method of procedure unknown to men. The subconscious mind rose upon the forces of infinite intelligence for the power with which it voluntarily transmutes one's desire into their physical equivalent, making use always of the most practical media by which this end may be accomplished. You cannot entirely control your subconscious mind, but you can voluntarily hand over to it any plan and desire or purpose which you wish transform into concrete form. Read again instruction for use the subconscious mind in the chapter on auto suggestions. There is a plenty of evidence to support the belief that the subconscious mind in the connecting link between the finite mind of men and infinite intelligence. It is intermediary through which one may draw upon the force of infinite intelligence at will. It alone contains the secret process by which mental impulses are modified and changed into their spiritual equivalent. It alone is the medium through which prayer may be transmitted to the source capable of answering prayer. The possibility of creative effort connected with the subconscious mind are stupendous and imponderable. They inspire one with awe. I never approach the discussion of the subconscious mind without feelings of littleness and inferiority, due perhaps to the fact that man's entire stock of knowledge on this subject is so pitifully limited. The very fact that the subconscious mind is the mind of communication between the thinking mind of man and infinite intelligence is of itself a thought which almost paralyzes one's reasons. After you have accepted as a reality the existence of the subconscious mind and understands its possibilities as a medium for transmitting your desire into their physical or monetary equivalent, you will comprehend the full significance of the instruction given in the chapter on desire. You will also understand why you have been repeatedly admonished to make your desire clear and to reduce them to writing. You will also understand the necessity of persistence is carrying out instructions. The 13 principles are the stimuli with which you acquire the ability to reach and influence your subconscious mind. Do not become discouraged if you cannot do this upon the first attempt. Remember that the subconscious mind may be voluntarily directed only through habit. Under the directions given in the chapter on faith, had you have not yet had time to master faith. Be patient, be persistent. A good many statement in the chapter on faith and auto suggestions will be repeated here for the benefits of your subconscious mind. Remember, your subconscious mind function volatilistically whether you make any effort to influence it or not. This naturally suggested to you that thoughts of fear and poverty and all negative thoughts serve as a stimuli to your subconscious mind unless you master these impulses and give it more desired food upon which it may feed. The subconscious mind will not remain idle if you fail to plant desires in your subconscious mind. It will feed upon the thoughts which reach it as the result of your neglect. We have already explained that thought impulses, both negative and positive, are reaching the subconscious mind continuously from the four sources which were mentioned in the chapter on sex transmutation. For for the present, it is sufficient if you remember that you are living daily in midst of all manner of thoughts, impulses which are reaching your subconscious mind without your knowledge. Some of these impulses are negative, some are positive. You are now engaged in trying to help shut off the flow of negative impulses and to aid involuntarily influence your subconscious mind through positive impulses of desire. When you achieve this, you will possess the key which unlock the door to your subconscious mind. Moreover, you will control that door so completely that no undesirable thought may influence your subconscious mind. Everything which man creates begins in the form of thoughts, impulse. Man can create nothing which he does not first conceive in thought. Through the aid of the imagination, through impulse may be assembled into plans, and the imagination, when under control, may be used for the creation of plans or purposes that leads to success in one's choosing occupation. All thoughts, impulses intended for transmutation into their physical equivalent and voluntarily planted in the subconscious mind must pass through the imagination and be mixed with faith, and the mixing of faith with a plan or purpose intended for subconscious to the subconscious mind may be done only through the imagination. From these statements, you will readily observe that voluntarily use of subconscious mind call for coordination and application of all the principles. Ella Wheeler Wilcox gave evidence of her understanding of the power of the subconscious mind, which she wrote. You were you never can tell what thought will do in bringing you hate or love. For thoughts are things and their airy wings are swifter than carrier drove. The follow the law of the universe, each thing creates its kind, and they speed o'er the track to bring you back whatever went out from your mind. Miss Wilcox understands the truth that thoughts which go out from one's mind also embed themselves deeply in one's subconscious mind, where they serve as a magnet pattern or blueprint by which the subconscious mind is influenced while translating them into their physical equivalent. Thoughts are truly things for the reason that every material thing begin in the form of thought energy. The subconscious mind is more susceptible to influence by impulses of thoughts mixed with feeling or emotion than by those originating solely in the reasoning portion of the mind. In fact, there is much evidence to support the theory that only emotionalized through have any action influence upon the subconscious mind. It is a well known fact that emotions or feeling rules the majority of people. If it is true that the subconscious mind responds more quickly to and is influenced more readily by thoughts impulse which are well mixed with emotions, it is essential to become familiar with the more important of the emotions. There are seven major positive emotions and seven major negative emotions. The negatives voluntarily inject themselves into the thought impulse which ensure passage into the subconscious mind. The positive must be injected through the principles of autosuggestion into the thought impulse, which can individual wishes to pass on his subconscious mind. Instructions have been given in the chapter on autosuggestions. These emotions or feeling impulses may be likened to yeast in a loaf of bread because they constitute the action element which transform thought impulses from the passive to the active state. Thus may one understand why thoughts impulses which have been well mixed with emotions are act upon more readily than thought impulses originating in cold reason. You are preparing yourself to influence and control the inner audience of your subconscious mind in order to hand over to it the desire for money, which you wish transmuted into its monetary equivalent. It is essential, therefore, that you understand the method of approach to this inner audience. You must speak its language, or it will not heed your call. It understands best the language of emotions or feeling. Let us therefore describe here the seven major positive emotions and the seven major negative emotions so that you may draw upon the positives and the avoid the negative when giving instruction to your subconscious mind. The seven major positive emotions: the emotion of desire, the emotion of faith, the emotion of love, the emotion of sex, the emotion of enthusiasm, the emotion of romance, the emotions of hope. There are other positive emotions, but these are the seven most powerful and the ones most common used in creative effort. Masters these seven emotions, they can be mastered only by use. And the other positive emotions will be at your command when you need them. Remember in the connection that you are studying book which is intended to help you develop a money conscious. By filling your mind with positive emotion, one does not become money conscious by filling one's mind with negative emotions. The seven major negative emotions to be avoided: the emotion of fear, the emotion of jealousy, the emotion of hatred, the emotion of revenge, the emotion of greed, the emotion of superstition, the emotion of anger. Positive and negative emotions cannot occupy the mind at the same time. One or the other must dominate. It is your responsibility to make sure that positive emotions constitute the dominating influence to your mind. Here's the law of habit will come to your aid. Form the habit of applying and using the positive emotions. Eventually, they will dominate your mind so completely that the negative cannot enter it. Only the following these instructions literally and continuously can you gain control over your subconscious mind. The presence of a single negative in your conscious mind is sufficient to destroy all chances of constructive aid from your subconscious mind. If you are an observing person, you must have noticed that most people resort to prayer only after everything else has failed, or else they pray by a ritual of meaningless words. And because it is fact that most people who pray do so only after everything else has failed, they go to prayer with their minds filled with fear and doubt, which are the emotions the subconscious mind act upon and passes one to infinite intelligence. Likewise, that is the emotions which infinite intelligence receive and acts upon. If you pray for a thing but have fear as you pray that you may not receive it, or that your prayer will not be acted upon by infinite intelligence, your prayer will have been in vain. Prayer does sometimes result in the realization of that for which one prays. If you have ever had the experience of receiving that for which you prayed, go back in your memory and recall your actual state of mind while you were praying, and you will know for sure that the theory here described is more than a theory. The time will come when the schools and educational institutions of the country will teach the science of prayer. Moreover, then prayer may be and will be reduced to a science when that time comes, it will come as soon as mankind is ready for it and demands it. No one will approach the universal mind in a state of fear for the very good reason that there will be no such emotion as fear. Ignorance, superstition, and false teaching will have disappeared, and man will have attained his true status as a child of infinite intelligence. A few have already attained these blessings. If you believe this prophecy is far-fetched talk, take a look at the human race in retrospect. Less than 100 years ago, men believed the lightning to the evidence of the word of God and feared it. Now, thanks to the power of faith, men have harnessed the lightning and made it run the wheels of industry. Much less than 100 years ago, men believed the space between the planets to be nothing but a great void, a stretch of that nothingness. Now, thanks to this same power of faith, man knows that far from being either dead or a void, the space between the planet is very much alive. That is the highest form of vibration known, excepting perhaps the vibration of thought. Moreover, men know that this living, pulsating, vibrating energy which permeates every atom of matter and fills every niche of a space, connect every human brain with every other human brain. What reasons have men to believe that this same energy does not connect every human brain with infinite intelligence? There are no tall gates between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. The communication costs nothing except patience, faith, persistence, understanding, and sincere desire to communicate. Moreover, the approach can be made only by the individual himself. Paid peers are worthless. Infinite intelligence does no business by proxy. You either go direct or you do not communicate. You may buy prayer books and repeat them until the day of your doom without avail. Thoughts which you wish to communicate to infinite intelligence must undergo transformations such as can be given only through your own subconscious mind. The method by which you may communicate with infinite intelligence is very similar to that through which the vibration of sound is communicated by radio. If you understand the working principles of radio, you of course know that sounds cannot be communicated through the ether until it has been stepped up or changed into a rate of vibrations which the human ear cannot detect. The radio sending station pick up the sound of the human voice and scramble or modify it by stepping up the vibration millions of times. Only in this way can the vibration of sound be communicated through the ether. After this transformation has taken place, the ether picks up the energy which originally was in the form of vibration of sound, carries that energy to radio receiving station, and these receiving sets steps that energy back down to its original rate of vibration so it's recognized as sound. The subconscious mind is the intermediary which translates one prayers into terms which infinite intelligence can recognize, present the message, and brings back the answer in the form of a definite plan or idea for procuring the object of the prayer. Understand this principle, and you will know why mere words read from a prayer book cannot and will never serve as an agency of communication between the mind of man and infinite intelligence. Before your prayer will reach infinite intelligence, a statement for the author theory only, it probably is transformed from its original thought vibration into terms of a spiritual vibration. Faith is the only known agency which will give you thought a spiritual nature. Faith and fear make poor bedfellow. Where one is found, the other cannot exist.